Hello and welcome to Seattle City Makers. I'm your host, Jon Scholes. Welcome to our latest episode. I am joined by Nick Ferderer, who is the creative genius behind two of downtown's hottest new creative hubs and art galleries, Basecamp Studio and Basecamp Studios 2. Nick had a background in government relations and legislative advocacy, business strategy, worked at the Department of Commerce and Microsoft before transitioning into the role of art gallery owner. And he has taken two vacant spaces in downtown over the last couple of years and transformed them into artist studios, offering space to a wide range of artists, designers, and makers, and created two galleries that feature exhibitions, installations, and collaborative events. Nick has transformed two spaces in downtown into these very dynamic, interesting, lively places. Nick was named by Seattle Magazine earlier this year as one of Seattle's most influential people. And we talk about how he made this transition from his background in business and tech, being laid off from Microsoft in 2023, into a full-time creator of artist spaces, studios, and galleries. And a little bit about what's to come and his future plans. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with Nick Ferderer with Basecamp Studios. Well, Nick, thanks for having us in Basecamp 2.
Thanks for being here.
For those that aren't aware, tell us how this came to be and what you're doing in here now. It looks a little different since the last time I was in.
How much time do I have?
Well, rock and roll.
I mean, I joke that I feel like I just keep falling forward and taking on more and more, but
yeah.
It started over at Basecamp 1.
Yeah, in
Belltown. And it started before then in Mexico City. I was down there and I had a big canvas, like 16 by 6 foot. And I was working remote for Microsoft, and I'd unroll it in sort of the courtyard and paint in the evenings, and it was lovely, and then shipped it back and unrolled it in my apartment, and it was too big, obviously. So I started looking for some space, and I was walking my dog, who's a celebrity, got a great mohawk, to the dog park.
What kind of dog?
She's called a double doodle. I like to joke it's when a designer dog becomes a mutt again.
Oh.
It's a poodle, Labrador, and golden doodle. But we were walking to the dog park on 2nd and Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go there all the time. We used to. And the Mama's building was there. And it was always there, but it was just kind of, right? And the garage door was open because it used to be a mechanic's garage. And I did a double take with my dog and looked in, and there was a guy in there. And I said, "What is this space?" And he said, "It's my office." And I said, "Can I paint here?" And he said, "Let's have coffee." So then we had coffee. And I told
Was that
him,
Marcus Charles who had it?
It was. Yeah. So Marcus and I hung out in the old Mama's building for a few months and invited some people over for art walk and thought that was great and fun. And then Marcus found a new office. I made an offer on that spot, and they said it's going to be the satellite office for the construction company that's going to build the units where the old Rocco's was the hole in the ground right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that. And then Amy Tipton, who runs Belltown Art Walk and now Slide and Slip, said, "You can have a space." And I said, okay. So I followed up, and she put me in the basement down there with 5 other designers, and I was painting down there, and it was great. And I started thinking, I could probably do something like this. I've got an MBA. So I started going around town, and there's all these for lease signs. So I'd call the numbers, schedule tours. One of them was on Bell and Western, and that was listed by Ewan and Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And I also live in Belltown, so it was kind of, the word was getting out that I was looking for a spot. And then Tom Graff calls me, and he says, "Hey, Nick, you still interested in a spot? Got a building with your name on it." And he had called Marcus, he had called Amy, and he had called my landlord. And they all said I was a decent guy, I think. So.
And were you looking for a space just for you, or were you thinking, hey, there's other people out there that probably want some affordable studio space to come mess around and create art?
A small community, like maybe 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And so the Basecamp 1 over on First and Battery started that. It was a much easier renovation, like pull up the carpet, take the drop ceilings out, give it a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
So we
let
opened,
it breathe.
I signed that I signed that lease on April 20th of 2022.
Did you have any city support on that, or was that all on? That was all on you. You're just taking that on.
Yeah, I got a small little seed funding, if you will, from a group. And that just replaced the windows over there. And it started on May 13th. We opened our doors, and we had 3 studios. And then the following month, June 10th, we opened up the gallery over there and 2 more studios. And then in July, we threw a block party in the parking lot next door. And then in August, we did a series of movie nights. So we're starting to get the community involved, and it continued that way. There's a really lovely downstairs there that I got in September. We put a couple more studios down there, and we kind of hit capacity at 9 artist studios and a gallery that turned over every month. I was laid off from Microsoft and thought I would rather do this than go back to the corporate world.
Yeah.
And I was talking with a lot of people about how we could make that happen. I set some benchmarks, kept hitting them. And there was like 2 options. There was like, well, give it up because it wasn't quite making it. I wasn't able to like live by just doing this, or I could raise rents. And I was like, I really don't want to do that.
From the artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would just change the whole dynamic and it wouldn't be enjoyable. And so I didn't want to do that. And there's a guy named Sam Ferrazzano who runs Equinox down in Georgetown. I reached out to him. He came and chatted, and he just kind of real nonchalantly said, why don't you just get a second building? So then I started to search.
You just have to have more scale, man.
I know, right? Like that
was his perspective.
So
do more.
This was the 8th one.
Where we sit today in the
Bergman Luggage building,
which was just a wreck of a space.
Yeah, so I signed that lease. I signed that lease in August of 2023, and at the time there was a chain link fence that surrounded the building.
Yeah, the whole corner, right?
Every single window was busted out. 39 windows. Upstairs had 55,000 pounds of trash, and I know that because I've moved it all several times.
You had to pay to dispose of it.
It was kind of fun. Like that was my focus first, is to clear the upstairs of that to build the studios. So I moved it all downstairs as kind of like a staging area, I suppose. But then we turned it into an art exhibit called Ghost of Belltown. And that was a really, really fun exhibit. Good.
And you had a group of artists that came in and sort of looked at this pile of trash and made some cool stuff out of it.
Yeah, Amanda Manitak, Yale Wolf, and Brady Black. And then myself, and that was a lot of good exposure. And that exhibit was really like, what are we doing with buildings that are vacant, and what is the impact that these vacant
Where'd
buildings...
all the trash come from? Did you ever know? Like, why was there all this trash up in the upper floor of this 2-story building?
I have theories, but nothing confirmed. But it was vacant for, I think, 30 to 40 years. A guy who...
So this was a development site for a residential building, right? I mean, at some point it'll be a residential building. Or am I mistaken on that?
I did find permits in the rubble, like a paper permit from 1996, saying that it was going to be...
Permit's probably no good anymore.
We can go into permitting.
No, that's boring.
I tried to extend it. I tried to like reopen that permit.
Oh, really?
Because it would be easier, right?
Yeah.
And we couldn't do it, but... there's a guy who runs an architecture firm, Baumgartner and Associates. He's friends and came over here, and I showed him that permit, and he said that it was his permit when he wanted to move Baumgartner over here in 1996. I still have it somewhere because it's kind of funny to have a permit from 1996.
Yeah.
But, we moved all that stuff down here.
So did you know where all that garbage came from? This was kind of a mystery.
No, but let me tell you some of the stuff that was up there.
Yeah,
there was about 20 toilets. There was about 60 mahogany doors. There was countless Remuno prints signed and numbered. Found out that was because she had an exhibit at Macy's over there, and then this was used as storage and just never picked up. There was probably 300 brass frames, ranging in size from 2 by 2 inch to 11 by 17. Still have a lot of those. Think it'd be fun for a nice art project. And then the previous residents were a bunch of pigeons, so everything that goes along with that.
So as the holder of the lease, you got to hold the trash too. They're like, it's all yours.
That was part of my negotiation.
I'll clean it out for you.
Yeah, and maintain it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can people that didn't get the chance to come see the exhibit, are there images of what was made that people can still see?
The Ghost of Belltown?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. There was a group out in the peninsula who started their own space similar to Base Camp. And they were inspired by this, and they did a LiDAR scan of the exhibit. So, you know, when you go to an apartment or you're touring a new space and they have the
little 3D video.
Yeah. So there's one of those that lives around somewhere.
Cool.
I think I still have the link.
And are the pieces preserved, or are they all in the landfill?
They're at the dumps.
Yeah.
The North Transfer Station. I'm friends with a lot of the people there because they know my face.
Do you have like a regular card that you can just swipe,
I wish.
Yeah, like a club card for the dump?
I am now like on joking terms with a lot of them.
Yeah, they should give you you get like gas points or something with it.
I should. Although it's more affordable to take stuff to the dumps than it is to like put it into the alleyways. So we still do that. But then we cleaned up down here. Kind of continue on that long. I told you it was a long story.
Yeah, no, it's a good story though.
It's only one question in too. We could be here all day.
You're making my job real easy.
There we go.
There's some follow-up questions though. I've
okay.
had some follow-up questions, to be fair.
Then we cleaned this out and did a project here in March of last year called As Many Weirdos as Possible, which was kind of our debut white-walled gallery exhibit. And then started focusing.
That was the IKEA deal?
This one was about the music scene in the Pacific Northwest between 1985 and 1995.
Yeah.
A group of photographers that documented people involved with the music scene. And then the person who is in the portrait writes a handwritten memory. And so we displayed the portrait and the memory side by side, and we had 100 of the images. And the project is still going. You should support them. And they're looking to do a book. Charles Peterson actually just recently joined their group, and he's kind of photography
Make for
legend.
a great coffee table book, it sounds like.
For sure.
That's pretty cool.
And then upstairs, there's a little bit of permitting stuff going on. Finally got those through with a lot of help from the community and friends. And then built that out. And the first official person to move in upstairs was on October 30th of last year. And by November 30th, we were at 100% capacity, which is cool. Didn't advertise it at all. And now I'm trying to cook up the next project. But it's been fun. That's the story.
The next building or different sort of iterations of what's happening in this one?
So behind you, on the other side of that wall, is an old restaurant space that is also part of my lease. So we're in the Bergman luggage space. That was vacant for about 4 to 5 years. The restaurant space, which I believe was the old Blarney Stone before they moved to First.
Oh, yeah.
That's been vacant for about 10 to 12 years. And then upstairs, based on the permit, I think has been vacant for 30 to 40 years. But maybe something over there, having some conversations with people for like I would love to have a 24-hour coffee shop downtown that also
24-hour.
That also serves as like a performance space and also some bar service with, of course, a punk art spin. And then
making me think of the old nightlight around the corner from here that we miss. I don't know that was 24 hours, but that went pretty late.
Technically, I think it'd be 22 hours to clean,
Yeah.
And then maybe some affordable housing, looking at some buildings. That's a bigger project with a big capital campaign and probably like a little bit longer horizon, but I like to be busy most of the time.
Would you pop a hole in this wall here to connect these spaces, or it'd be a totally separate operation?
If the permitting gods would allow it.
Yeah, dust that one off from '96 and
See what
if
they
it,
do.
Yeah, see if it allowed for a hole.
It'd be pretty fun, right? Or
Be
maybe
super
like
fun.
a fireman's pole from upstairs as well.
There you go. So what all has taken place down here? What's in here now? I mentioned the IKEA deal. That you got some attention around that, which was kind of a trip, and then you did Smash Putt. But say more about
the fun
what's
one
been in here and
about
what you hope to see going forward.
Yeah. So the IKEA one that you are talking about was affectionately called Store, and now there's with the umlaut over the O in true Swedish fashion. And that was actually pitched during the Ghost of Belltown show by an artist, Lilia, who said, "Hey, Nick, I got this crazy idea. Imagine like a weird IKEA." And I said, "Say no more. Let's do it." And so then she worked with Marianne, who I cannot speak highly enough of these two artists, then curated 29 other artists. And we basically turned this into an IKEA down to the arrows on the floor, but it was, weird IKEA where these were artist-made goods, and that was a wonderful success. And then we followed up that with Smash Putt, which is an old Seattle institution that has been gone for 8 years. And that was also pitched during Ghost of Belltown by Yale. He's like, "Nick, this would be great for Smash Putt," and I won't lie, I wasn't in Seattle for the last iteration. And I said, "What is Smash Putt?" And he said, "It's like mini golf on acid." And I said, "Say no more."
Say no more.
And so
meets IKEA. You could combine those two things or something.
But those two exhibits are kind of the goal for this space.
So you want to see this place like taken over by a full immersive exhibit that would be time limited.
Exactly.
And then it becomes something else.
Yep. 3 months.
And right now you have it set up as more of a traditional gallery with some terrific works on the walls. And
the goal is for like 3-month exhibits, so for a year. And Mad Art, if you remember Mad Art, is somewhat of an inspiration for that. Just provides space for people to make their wildest dreams, and then invite the public in throughout the entire process. So that's the goal, and I think beginning next year we'll stick more closely to 4 exhibits, 3 months in duration, large installations. This year we had a calendar to fill up, and we did, and we have some really great shows coming up. This show here is called Best of Base Camp. This is work from all of the resident artists that are here.
Folks upstairs
And over at Base Camp 1.
Belltown. Yeah.
So we have 33 artists on display right now, and it's a very eclectic show.
Yeah.
I am very happy with how it was installed. I think it does have a rhyme and reason, but it will require that you look at each of the works and understand how they play with what's next to it. And it's a really fun show. And we open that on Saturday.
And do you already have something next that's coming in?
Yep.
On the calendar?
Next we have a solo show by another friend, Ezra. He helped with some of the renovation down here. So there was a commercial grade hang system made out of MDF. And we didn't want to waste it because it's really good wood. And he repurposed a lot of that MDF to cover the benches that now line the corner of 3rd and Stewart. And he said, "I'd like to do an exhibit." And I said, "Okay." And so his show is coming up, and it'll open July 11th. It's called Who's Offended? It's a solo show, which is going to be a lot to fill, but he's also just one of the sweetest guys that you can possibly meet. He's been around for a while, and he does amazing stuff. After that, we're ironing out details with a collaboration in a gallery in New York for a Cuban poster art show. And then after that, I'm really excited for the exhibit. It's called Telephone. The idea is one person started the game with a single piece of work that was then shared out to 4 other artists. who then made a work based off of that.
Hmm.
And then their work was shared out to 3 more each. So it's an exponential growth. It's a worldwide game. As of right now, there are over 1,400 artists who have submitted works. And it ranges from, painting to dance to sculpture to videography to poetry. So it's going to be a very fun show to curate. But I think it'll have a really interesting through line about how we take meaning from work and then transmit that.
And all the pieces and works will have that through line back to the original
Yes.
piece.
And it's pretty crazy. I think some of them are on like the 14th generation.
Wow.
How on generation 1, this theme is there. And then on generation 14, the theme still remains. Similar to the childhood game, where you tell a secret and then tell the person next to you. Some of them have totally diverged, but working with a great group of people on that as well.
And then what happened to that canvas that led to all of this that didn't fit in your apartment that you had to find a home for? Like, where's
Bringing
that?
it back, I love it. It's rolled up in my studio upstairs. I've actually never been able to display it because there's never been a space big enough. Maybe here, but I now do more of the admin and the operations and the community building than my own art, which is a trade-off. There's enjoyment and joy.
When did you
both.
first get into art, and are there other types of art beyond visual art that are part of who you are and your past?
I don't know. That's a difficult question. I did poetry a lot in college, published a few poems, and then picked up painting more seriously after a breakup right before the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, well, I'm going to do a lot more of this. And then it kind of has moved into more of the installation and more 3D sculptural elements. But I sometimes would like to do more of my own. But
What brought you to Mexico City? Was that Microsoft, or was that I'm an escape here during the pandemic?
both.
Yeah.
Worked remote. It's the tacos. Have you been?
No, it's on the list though.
I could live in Mexico City.
I mean,
for
talk
sure.
about a place with great art. I mean, that had to be inspiring to.
Good culture, good history, excellent food, very walkable. All the things I love in a good city.
Pretty easy to get to from Seattle too.
Super easy.
Yeah. So you were down there
Down
couple of
there.
years?
No, just for 5 weeks.
Oh, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish. No,
Just
no.
a little
I've
COVID
got
escape.
Roots. Yeah, I've got roots here. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did some work in remote from other places as well, but now I'm here all the time.
And you've been part of transforming this block with some of your neighbors and other property owners and the folks from Bumbershoot. How did you get involved in that? And for folks who aren't aware of the Spark Block as it's been deemed, what did it entail, and what was your role?
Sabrina, formerly with Kleiss, I think she's great, always great to talk with. Came over and said, hey, Nick, we got this idea. Do you want to be involved? I said, yes. Maybe that's the theme of this conversation. I said, yes. And so the Spark Block was a pilot that has now been replicated a couple of times. But the idea was to put some catenary lighting above 3rd, which has been tremendous. If you're driving north or south and you see those lights on 3rd, it kind of feels like a little bit of a celebration. So you look forward to the destination. And of course, when you get here, it's a great place to be. And then we added some artwork as well. So there's some sidewalk murals. The parking garage in the corner also got a mural. And then there's a massive mural by Brady, who was in Ghost of Belltown, on the old Haddon building next door. That's a 6-story mural, which he had been talking about doing some tessellated, pixelated imagery in a vacant building. I think we were looking, he initially had ideas on a building that's on 4th and Bell. But when this opportunity came up, I was like, Brady, what do you think? And It looks great if you haven't been here.
Yeah, that one's pretty spectacular.
It's best viewed from across the street.
Yeah,
and,
the scale of it.
Yeah. Which is pretty fun. We haven't done anything like that in Seattle. It's led to more great opportunities for him. So that's kind of the goal. It's like, how do we keep up-leveling the public art and exposure and pay for artists so that they can stay in Seattle?
And we've got this kind of little corridor here now with you on one corner with Basecamp 2 and then Cannonball Arts soon to open later this summer, I understand, on the other in the old Bed Bath & Beyond. It's kind of this funky, fun, great little corridor of activity and art and creativity. And
I'm excited to see what we do.
Yeah.
I would like to take the next building, but anyway.
Fill in the gap between Cannonball and here. Yeah.
Just a one-stop shop, you know, if you like art, both from, you know, I'm also on the board of the Pike Place Market Foundation. So if you're at the market, you just travel east a little bit. If you're anywhere else in Seattle, you come towards the core and you can hang out and spend a whole day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's good energy here, especially relative to what was going on here 3 years ago. It's kind of a sight for sore eyes with all that chain link fence and busted windows and no activity. And now it's just a completely different experience.
It really is. I feel that this is at the crossroads of the market, Belltown, and the core. Technically, on the other side of Stewart, you're in the core. Right now, you're in Belltown, and then if you go one block towards the market, you're in the PDA area. So it really is a confluence of a lot of different neighborhoods, crossroads. It's a fun place to be.
Do you feel like you're applying your love and gift of art with your MBA here and what you're
Good
doing?
Lord, I've never felt like there's
putting it to work.
Yeah, I've never felt like there's more of my past lives coming together in this. So I know you've got a question at the end. I won't spoil that one. But I started working with my dad, who's a floor cover, at age 7, just carrying tile and tools and being kind of the gopher guy. And it was great because he paid above minimum wage, which as 7 years old doesn't even matter, you know. But started doing that, so developed like a mechanical ability to work around a job site.
At 7, huh?
At 7, it was great.
That's
I mean,
cool.
It was not strenuous, okay? Like
but you're getting like exposure, a taste of it. You get a sense of,
I know the difference between a trowel and a broad knife, you know? And then had a series of other jobs, but kind of landed in the political world for a while, which is really about coalition building and understanding messages and transmitting the messages and building a coalition and hopefully ultimately, you know, getting shit done.
Yeah,
like that's what we're here to do. And then that was in DC, came back to Seattle for my MBA, learned how to do a spreadsheet, and then applied that at Microsoft while also doing art. So this really does combine all of those. It's got a lot of construction and manual labor.
These floors look great.
Thank you. Yeah, they do. You should come see them. They're gallery gray. But also
see the art and the
coalition
floors,
building, and it's got to pencil out too. You know, it's the one of the really lovely things about Basecamp is that it is more or less self-sustaining. We have received some grant support, which is just amazing, and would love to continue to receive grant support. It makes it a lot easier. So that's kind of the technical MBA stuff, but obviously the art is the through line between all of it. Like every day I'm talking with artists, I'm showing art, hearing shows, designing shows. Later today we're installing one upstairs. It's going to be a fantastic one. So yeah, I get to exercise a lot of different muscles.
Yeah. So getting to that question of our standard question, what was your very first job?
The very first W9 job was a birthday party extraordinaire at a place called Kids Club Fun and Fitness. So I threw superhero birthday parties.
It's like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of.
Way cooler.
Okay.
But yeah.
You grew up in Vancouver, Washington, right?
Vancouver.
So this was
America's
down-
Vancouver. Yeah.
America's Vancouver.
And
What was it called again? Kids.
Kids Club Fun and Fitness.
Fun and
I still
Fitness.
have the shirt, to be honest, and now it's a construction shirt. But my friend Steven, his birthday was a month and a half before mine, and he got a job there, and then he put in a rec, and we were a dynamite duo for these birthday parties.
What's
Like-
the fitness part of this?
Well, there's like a ball pit and a foam thing and like
They're
gymnastics.
not like having to do
and
like a
stuff.
fitness class in order to have
No.
like a birthday party.
But we had
It's like
we had a
activity.
whole clothes rack of superhero outfits.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Sounds a lot cooler than Chuck E. Cheese.
yeah, so the kids would dress up in their favorite superhero. Either Steven or I would be, the good guy, and then the other one would be the bad guy. So like we only had a Superman adult size outfit, so we were always like Superman. And then the bad guy was like the evil white ninja, and all the kids would try to beat up on the ninja, and we would alternate back and forth. And then we did princess tea parties as well.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it was a great job.
What were you making by the hour for that? You remember?
I don't know. Minimum wage at the time, I think, was maybe like $7, something
Yeah.
like that.
But it was a good time.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then did some movie theater stuff, Burger King, bank teller, coffee shop. My favorite at that stage in life was working at a country club, like washing golf clubs. That's a fun conversation. All those folks, it's an interesting, what's your life story? And after 5 years, you get to know some people pretty well.
Yeah. You see your repeat customers.
All the time. And they give you
Yeah.
$1 to clean your club. You're like, man, this is great.
Is that party fitness thing still around?
I think so. I think it's
Yeah.
on 134th Street down in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I hope it is. It was a good time.
It sounds like it. And our final question, Nick, what's your perfect Saturday in Seattle? What are you doing? If you can
I'd like to sleep
design
in.
it beginning to end.
I'd like
You're
to
sleeping
sleep in till like 8:39. Hit the market before the crowds. Maybe restock on some beans from Ghost Alley. Get some dinner food. Maybe get a snack at Me Some. I don't know. My dog's with me for this whole time. Go drop it off. Go on a nice walk down Olympic Sculpture Park all the way to the end. Hopefully not too many people are there so I can let her off. Some people are going to give me some comments about letting her off. She loves to go swimming, all right? Just let the dog have
Let
some
the
fun.
dog swim.
Come
not
back,
hurting anybody.
do some reading, pop around here, say hi to some friends, and end with a nice dinner, home cooked if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Sounds good. I tried to do it yesterday. Well, yesterday was Sunday, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, same deal.
It's a pretty lovely Sunday. Well, thanks for making time, Nick, and
Thanks
for
for letting me yap. Yeah.
for what you're doing here downtown. And
Well, thanks for having me, John. This
Yeah.
is fun to just...
you're a true city maker. And we should mention too, you're listed as one of Seattle's most influential people in 2025 by
They-
Seattle
they
Magazine,
did.
I think, right?
Yes, that
Yeah.
was a fun way to start the year.
Yeah.
It's a heavy burden. I feel like I have to continue to be influential.
There's
I
like
gotta-
7 more months left.
I know.
Yeah.
So
We'll
the
keep bringing
restaurant
it.
or
Yeah,
some...
poke a hole in that wall.
was like-
Keep going.
So anybody listening, if you're
If you got a space that got a
some
bunch
capital, we need some capital
Yeah.
for that. But
Yeah.
it's always a conversation, though,
of yeah.
And then I say yes.
Well, and this is what cities are about: it's resiliency. We
Definitely.
get knocked on our back, and spaces go empty, and then new ideas come along and new people to
Yeah.
take some risk and rally the investment support of others and make cool stuff happen. So, thanks for making cool stuff happen.
Thanks for being here.
Well, hope you enjoyed my conversation with Nick. Thanks to him for making time to come on Seattle City Makers and for all he is doing to shape and make great experiences for all of us in our downtown and for what he's doing for the artist community. He's been a great collaborator and partner to the Downtown Seattle Association, and look forward to what's next from Nick. Well, I want to close out with a recommendation of something you got to check out in downtown Seattle, and I want to highlight the soon-to-open Cafe Freya at the corner of 5th and Union. They took over 7,000 square foot vacant space that used to be the specialty specialties prior to the pandemic and are very, very close, based on my walk by yesterday, of opening their doors. I don't have an exact date for you, but keep an eye on the corner of 5th and Union. Cafe Freya and their sister company, Cafe Hagen, are taking on this space. It'll be open 7 days a week. Freya Bakery and Cafe first started down in Pike Place Market, down on Western. They opened back in 2021, and it's great to see them expanding in our downtown and taking over an important corner. So go give them your business. They've done a great job remaking this space. I think it's going to be a terrific third place for Seattle, open early morning till evening, again, 7 days a week. Go check them out. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this episode of Seattle City Makers, presented by the Downtown Seattle Association, with support from James Cito and production by Thread Theory.